Have you ever wondered about the nature of existence? Why are we here, and why is life often filled with suffering? These are questions that plagued the mind of one man, Arthur Schopenhauer. Born on a cold February day in 1788 in the city of Danzig, now known as Gdansk, Poland, Schopenhauer was destined for a life of contemplation. His early years were steeped in the intellectual pursuits of the Enlightenment, a period marked by a profound optimism in the power of reason and the potential for human progress. But Schopenhauer, ever the contrarian, found himself disillusioned with this sunny outlook on life. As he delved deeper into the mysteries of existence, a starkly different philosophy began to take shape in his mind. The optimism of the Enlightenment seemed to him a hollow promise, a veneer masking the true nature of existence. Life, in Schopenhauer's eyes, was not a march towards progress, but a dance with suffering and desire, a ceaseless striving driven by an insatiable will. This will, he would argue, is the bedrock of existence, a blind and irrational force that propels us into an unending cycle of want and dissatisfaction. Life, for Schopenhauer, was not a journey towards enlightenment, but a struggle with the unyielding forces of the will. This pessimistic view stood in stark contrast to the prevailing philosophies of his time, setting him apart as a thinker, willing to confront the harsh realities of existence. Yet, for all his pessimism, Schopenhauer was not without hope. In the face of life's struggles, he sought to find meaning in suffering and the irrational forces that drive existence. It was a search that would lead him to some of the most profound insights in Western philosophy, forever changing our understanding of the human condition. In the face of life's struggles, Schopenhauer sought to find meaning in suffering and the irrational forces that drive existence. Schopenhauer's most significant work, The World as Will and Representation, is a masterpiece that delves deep into the nature of reality. His philosophy, while grounded in the traditions of his predecessors, took a unique turn, placing the will at the center of his metaphysical system. In Schopenhauer's thought, the world as we perceive it is not the ultimate reality. Instead, the true essence of the world, the underlying force that drives all existence, is what he calls the will. This will is blind, irrational, and ceaseless. It is neither good nor evil, it simply is. It is the fundamental force that propels every aspect of nature, from the simplest organism to the most complex human behaviors. Now you might ask, how does this will affect our lives? The answer lies in Schopenhauer's profound insights into the human condition. According to him, because this will is insatiable, it leads to a constant striving, a ceaseless yearning for more. We are always reaching for the next thing, the next goal, the next desire. Yet once we attain what we have sought, we are not satisfied. Instead, we are left with a void, an emptiness that needs to be filled with new desires. This ceaseless striving, this pursuit of the ever-receding horizon of desire, results in dissatisfaction and suffering. We are trapped in a cycle of want and discontent, always reaching but never fully grasping, always wanting but never truly satisfied. The more we desire, the more we suffer, and the cycle continues, driven by the relentless force of the will. Yet, despite the seemingly pessimistic nature of his philosophy, Schopenhauer's interpretation of life and reality is not without its merits. It offers a candid exploration of the human condition, forcing us to look within and question our own desires, our own will, our own role in our suffering. In Schopenhauer's view, our lives are characterized by a perpetual cycle of desire and suffering, driven by an insatiable will. One of Schopenhauer's most intriguing ideas is the will to live, the notion that life is a striving, desiring, and perpetually unsatisfied force. This concept, so central to his philosophy, paints a rather bleak picture of human existence. Schopenhauer viewed life as a ceaseless cycle of desire and dissatisfaction, an endless pursuit of wants that can never truly be sated. But why? Why are we caught in this relentless cycle of desire? According to Schopenhauer, it's all driven by the will. This will is not the conscious, rational decision-making we typically associate with the term, but rather a blind, irrational force that propels all existence. It's the underlying current that keeps us striving, desiring, and suffering. It's the engine of life's perpetual dissatisfaction. Yet Schopenhauer didn't leave us entirely without hope. He proposed a way out, a temporary respite from this ceaseless striving. And this relief comes in the form of aesthetics, the appreciation of art and beauty. In his view, when we engage in aesthetic contemplation, we step outside the wheel of the will. We transcend our individual desires and connect with something greater. Think of a time when you lost yourself in a beautiful piece of music, a breathtaking painting, or a compelling novel. In those moments, your personal desires faded away, didn't they? You weren't thinking about what you wanted for dinner or worrying about tomorrow's tasks. You were simply present, absorbed in the beauty before you. This, according to Schopenhauer, is a taste of freedom from the will. But remember, this escape is only temporary. Once the song ends, the book closes, or the painting is left behind, we're thrust back into the realm of the will, back into the cycle of desire and dissatisfaction. So while Schopenhauer's philosophy may seem pessimistic, it also offers a profound appreciation for the role of art and beauty in our lives. For him, these are not mere luxuries or distractions, but essential tools for navigating the turbulent seas of existence. For Schopenhauer, art and beauty offer a reprieve from the relentless cycle of desire and suffering. Schopenhauer's philosophy did not just resonate within the confines of philosophical circles. His ideas permeated literature, psychology, and the arts. Arthur Schopenhauer's profound insights into the human condition found resonance with several key figures across various disciplines. His influence can be traced in the works of Friedrich Nietzsche, Richard Wagner, Sigmund Freud, and Leo Tolstoy, among others. Let's start with Friedrich Nietzsche. This iconoclast of the philosophical world initially admired Schopenhauer, drawn to his emphasis on the will and his questioning of existence. Nietzsche found Schopenhauer's philosophy invigorating, a breath of fresh air in the stale, dogmatic atmosphere of his time. However, as Nietzsche's own philosophy matured, he diverged from Schopenhauer's pessimistic outlook. Unlike Schopenhauer, Nietzsche celebrated the will to power, seeing in it the potential for human transcendence rather than a source of suffering. Next, we move to the realm of music. Richard Wagner, the brilliant composer, was deeply influenced by Schopenhauer's ideas. Schopenhauer's philosophy of the will and his conception of music as a universal language capable of expressing the deepest human emotions had a profound impact on Wagner's operas. Turning to psychology, we find Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis. Freud's concept of the unconscious draws parallels with Schopenhauer's notion of the will. Both saw beneath the veneer of rationality an irrational force driving human behavior. And finally, in literature, Leo Tolstoy, one of the greatest novelists of all time, was inspired by Schopenhauer's views on life, suffering, and the will. Tolstoy's works often reflect the struggle of the human will against the harsh realities of existence, a theme central to Schopenhauer's philosophy. In each of these figures, we see fragments of Schopenhauer's thought, refracted through their unique perspectives and contributions. His ideas continue to inspire, challenge, and provoke thought, transcending the boundaries of time and discipline. Schopenhauer's influence continues to be felt in various disciplines, a testament to the enduring power of his ideas. Despite the pessimistic outlook, why do Schopenhauer's ideas still capture our attention today? This question brings us to the heart of the matter. Although Schopenhauer's philosophy is often seen as gloomy, it is his honest exploration of the human condition that continues to captivate us. Schopenhauer's philosophy, in a nutshell, is a mirror held up to our existence. It reflects the ceaseless striving, the insatiable desires, and the inevitable suffering that color our lives. Yet it also shines a light on the potential for compassion and empathy that lies within us all. In today's fast-paced, consumer-driven society, his ideas resonate more than ever. We live in a world where desires seem to multiply exponentially, where the pursuit of the next big thing often leads to dissatisfaction and disillusionment. Schopenhauer's emphasis on the inherent suffering that arises from our boundless desires offers an insightful critique of our modern-day consumer culture. But it's not just suffering and striving that Schopenhauer talks about. He also offers us a way out. His idea that aesthetic contemplation can provide a temporary respite from suffering is a powerful one. In an era where we are constantly bombarded with information and stimuli, the act of appreciating art and beauty provides a much-needed oasis of calm and reflection. Schopenhauer's emphasis on compassion is another facet of his philosophy that resonates with many of us today. In a world often marked by division and strife, his call for understanding and empathy towards others is a timely one. His philosophy reminds us that beneath our individual struggles and desires, we are all driven by the same fundamental force, the will to live. Schopenhauer's ideas continue to provoke contemplation and discussion. They compel us to reflect on our desires, our suffering, and our relationships with others. They challenge us to consider the role of beauty and art in our lives. And most importantly, They urge us to cultivate compassion and understanding towards our fellow human beings. Schopenhauer's legacy is one that continues to challenge and stimulate philosophical thought, making him a significant figure in the history of Western philosophy.